Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for Thursday, the 7th of Feb. All right, now we're finally kicking in with some clear direction on the currencies. And the US dollar is rallying, but it's on the back of a whole range of weak data. It's weak Aussie data. The RBA governor yesterday, sort of almost completely different to their statement the day before, came out and said there's possible chance of rate cuts. Aussie's been hammered. The Kiwi was just drifting lower as it correlates, but this morning the employment numbers, slight blowout in unemployment, and it's now shot lower. Weak German industrial production numbers continued to move lower in the euro, and sterling, well, that whole positive euphoria over Brexit is waning. So what we've got is the dollar CAD rallying, dollar yen, it's having a crack. It really needs to get above 110 for it to have a go. But the US dollar is moving lower overall. And if I just come across, just give you a bit of a look at the index, it is looking pretty cozy. And funnily enough, there are still a few geopolitical issues around, but the dollar is starting to make headwinds, and that is on the daily charts as well. This chart here is the hourlies, and as you can see, it's a pretty clear progress to the top side. And that's because we're getting a connection with the data. Weak euro, weak Aussie, weak Kiwi, and also the sterling dribbling lower. So they're all contributing to a stronger dollar. Now, dollar China, it's sort of banging away here around 6.7750. Still no news about US-China trade deals, trade talks, all this sort of stuff. So we have to wait and see. And that's pretty prominent because anything to do with trade or growth is sort of replicated in the equities at the moment, and they're pretty neutral, pretty flat. Okay, so don't get overly excited about that. Now, just coming back to the charts, okay, we're in a bit of a conundrum. This is where you do get clear direction, right? So all these pairs, well, let me just make that a little bit thicker. Okay, you get all these pairs here. Sort of, they do have sort of, to me, clear direction. Euro's not like jumping out of bed, but that's a nice move. I like that move a little bit better. And the dollar pairs, sort of heading topside. Now, the problem is, okay, check out where these trend lines are. They're miles away. The Kiwi back towards 68, the figure. Okay, it's about 35 points away. Euro, you're looking at about 114.10, sort of 50 points away. And sterling, well, it's a bit of a dog's breakfast. It's back, almost 100 points away, 90 points away. We do have a close dollar CAD here. I think CAD could be potentially the move to the top side here. Looks pretty good if the dollar keeps going higher. So what am I talking about? Well, this is where it comes back down to your trade plan, and you need to think about what you're doing. Ideally, we're looking for retracements to get back into the currencies here, back towards these levels. But are we going to see them? That's the problem. We do have clear direction. Some of the data, especially the Aussie and Kiwi, is pretty fresh, right? So the chance for those currency pairs to rally 30, 40 points, it's going to take something to come out of the US to really turn these pairs around. So you have to really think about, where do I get in? Aussie at the moment, it's a pretty tough trade. I mean, I can't find a level at this point. I'm sort of waiting patiently. I've jumped in here on Kiwi at 67.75, sort of about, 15 minutes after the data was released. It sort of rallied back to 80 and stalled there. So at the moment, I'm just balancing that position, but I will probably have to come back and manage that in about 3 or 4 hours. If there's no movement, I'll probably square that up and look to get short at the optimum level back towards 68, the figure. Euro, well, once again, you love to be short back towards 114, but it's drifting lower. There's no sort of support levels around here. So where do we get in? You either get in around market 113.60 or 113.80 with the stop higher. Ideally, as I said, you're looking for retracements, but we're just not sure if we're going to get them because the dollar is starting to move. Right, let's just have a look over here at the general news that's going around the place. I'd say Reuters and Bloomberg, for that matter, would love the fresh information they've got out of the RBA governor and also the Kiwi, for that matter, because it gives them something to write about, something tangible, which actually makes sense. The RBA coming in and bringing into the discussion potential chance for a rate cut is enough to scare the hell out of the market, and it's, the Aussie's been smashed. And as you can see, they're throwing that Aussie talk in amongst everything they can because that is the one clear news. Dollar CAD, well, that's just rubbish, stalls, Wall Street, blah, blah, blah. Brexit for sterling. There's not much else happening out there at the moment. And if I just bring you back to the main page here, I'll just show you the range of data. So don't forget, we are still missing a cartload of US data, right? It should be coming out hopefully soon. Here's the Kiwi employment numbers. Now, the Kiwi economy is very small, so a significant change like this will be putting the shivers down the spine of the RBNZ, and they meet next week. All right, so IB-CAD, IB-PMI slightly lower, supports a move higher in the dollar CAD as well. And then if I just go up a little bit higher, you'll see the some other numbers I was looking at yesterday. Industrial orders, another one here from the German archive, minus 1.6 for industrial orders. That's going to be sending some alarm bells as well across the board. So Euro data weak, Aussie, RBA, dovish, Canadian data weaker. It paints a picture for the dollar to rally, not because of strong US dollar fundamentals, but because of weak fundamentals from all the other currencies. Okay, so when you come back to the MyFX Trading Hub, you'll see now that this thing is actually starting to light up. And this is what we're sort of talking about. The direction and the trading conditions can change very quickly. We've got good, clear direction at the moment. Okay, now as far as the major currency pair outlook, we have direction here on most of these pairs, pretty much everything. Dollar yen is only just starting to move higher. Dollar CAD looks like it's got potential above 132.20. Dollar Swiss is already edged higher, and all these other pairs have all moved, and they are all moving in that clear direction. So with that, it comes back to like working out of these pairs, right? These ones here, which all do have direction, which ones have the best technical setup? As I said, dollar CAD's probably got the best, closest trend line for my liking. And then you can start to connect the data. Now, what else have we got coming up which could move these things? Okay, the Bank of England, well, they're probably not going to do anything just at the moment with Brexit hanging over it. But then we do have the Fed Chairman Powell speaking. And then you've got to wait till the Friday's numbers. So, you know, ideally what we would like today is a really chunky US number, which comes out strong and really confirms these moves are on. Okay, but we're not going to get that at the moment. We have to wait for Jerome Powell. Now, out of all the central bankers, Jerome Powell's probably the calmest. Trump doesn't scare him. You know, all the politics and everything else, he's putting that aside. And he's just doing a great job managing the US. Now, he hasn't had any fundamentals to look at, so let's not get carried away with that. We're really sort of following these currencies. I think these little slight trends will continue, although they lack momentum just at the moment. And that's what you have to be aware of. So when you come back and look at the major pairs, you're like, okay, I've got clear direction here. What's happening with momentum? See how the price action here in the Aussie sort of stalled? It's starting to sort of build some sort of stalling here. If anything, Euro looks like it's the one that has got some sort of better shape. And once again, Sterling is stalling. Once again, it's drifted down, now stalling. Dollar CAD, that's why I like dollar CAD, but we don't have any CAD fundamentals coming out today. Friday, we've got the employment numbers. It's a shame they aren't coming out today because we have weak Canadian employment numbers. Dollar CAD shoots to the top side. We know where all the stops are, and that would be a cracking trade there. Dollar yen, well, it's going to be hard to see if it breaks high. I know there's a sort of a bit of a short-term trend line there, but it doesn't really want to get going at this point. And with no US or no Japanese data, it's lacking that driver. All right, so that's it for me, guys. It's sort of we're starting to get a little bit more exciting with potential trading opportunities, especially, you know, it's been a bit of a slow start to 2019 because of all the US data being offline. But don't forget, go into the 247 trade zone. There's plenty of updates and action in here. So if you have a question with what's going on or any other aspect of the market, be sure to add it. One of the team or one of the other traders in the market will assist you with that as well. You can also see those updates on the MyFX Trading Hub page, and that's where you'll find updates like I'm going short at 67.75. That was 2 hours ago, so you can get up to the date updates, up to the minute updates, I should say. And also you can either set up message groups as well to chat to your fellow traders. All right, guys, that's it from me. It's a lot more exciting than it was a couple of days ago. So make sure you check out your trend lines. Try and gauge where these pairs are. Now, just to finish on, I meant to say, get my pen back up. Okay, I'm going to start looking for some retracements on some of these pairs. Now, with the Aussie, it's probably hard to sort of say where it is. You just got to have a guess and try and work out where that level is. Dollar CAD, as I said, looks like the best, closest technical trade, but it doesn't hurt to put retracement orders on these other currencies that do have good shape, because you never know, you might get that bounce. And if you don't have the orders in there, you can't take advantage of it. All right, guys, that's it from me for the moment. We'll see you in the 247 trade zone. Cheerio.